starvation thing again, isn't it?
Yeah, but he never did it at Croft once with this system on and this filter and that. I'm just wondering if it's old fuel, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they've gone through by now.
He should have done, shouldn't he?
Switching on his filter.
Eh?
His filter.
Well, just Paul's bike was it had an intermittent problem. We're trying to find out what it was. We've flown in a factory technician from BMW Motorrad, Germany, technician, and then there's Paul, the like Bill and Ben, the flower pot men. Obble, obble, obble.
Well, to be honest, this might not be a problem anymore. This is the second meeting as factory teammates. I'm literally busting a gut out there, literally busting a gut, putting my neck on line, and when I signed this factory contract, I was promised my payment in 2 stages, and the first cheque would arrive after Croft. I've not received a cheque link, I'm not happy about it, I'm willing to do this meeting and bust a gut, but if that cheque's not here, there'll be no Anglesey, I'll tell you that now. The thing is and all, obviously I'm the most experienced rider out of the two, the most successful. Mike's had his cheque, and he don't need it as much as me, you know, we're on bread and jam here, we're down to breadcrumbs. He's had his cheque, but yet he's the junior rider in the team. I'm not happy about it. I've just shown him the ropes in practice again, the usual thing, tap the seat unit, showed him all the best lines, and I just can't help it, it's the compassionate side of me coming out. But at the end of the day, we need money to pay the bills, Lynn. You've got to pay up, mate. A contract's a contract. Not nice and clean.
We think it's a fuel starvation. So we've changed the fuel filter because the original fuel filter was a little small one. It was flowing alright out of the tank. We timed it coming out of the tank and it was flowing alright out of there. But we're just going to change this. We're putting some quality
factory fuel line.
Factory fuel line on it, yeah. And we're just figuring out now where we can put this, which is going to cause the maximum issues for him. Or I am anyway.
We're still playing up, Pauls.
Yeah, it broke down. Stop at the decay.
That block is number one. He's going to be gone when you sold it, isn't it? Fuel on.
Good start. One of the guys in front of us jumped out of gear or something and nearly ran into the back of him as we were running towards the first corner. Kevin's first corner was fantastic. Onto the back straight, he opened up a gap and I thought, Jesus. So I got my head down, got up behind him and then slipstreamed over the start-finish straight, got past, and I thought he'll be all over me again. Next time I looked past, I'd opened the gap, but he had a slide or something, so a bit unfortunate. But good. Bike's working perfect.
Yeah, but suspension.
Eh?
No push back there.
That's breathing now.
What about that one?
It's whether it can vent out of here though.
It's bringing 440. No, it's bringing 345 over there.
Or maybe some carb cleaner or something just to spray through it, just to see.
I bet this is the first time Myrtle's ever had a blowjob.
Yeah, Paul's gone AWOL. He's gone to look for a fresh tank filler cap. We're thinking it might be that. But I'm just taking the tank off at the minute so we can have a look at how fast the fuel flow is through the T-piece on top of the car.
Going back to vacuum again.
DT 400?
Yeah.
Not on the phase one carb.
Yeah, but it's a big flow. You see flow. You know, we have checked flow, haven't we? It's high flow. But he says he's gone back to vacuum and had no problems. I reckon put standard vacuum back on.
I think I'm wrong doing that for a big bike.
Well, it's got this mystery fuel problem, or we think it's fuel problem, so we've just rerouted the fuel pipe to make sure the filter was clean. We're going to run the tap this time in reserve, thinking it might be just give it that more head of fuel. And we turned the pipe where the pipe goes onto the car, so we've made it go underneath now instead of over the top. Just clutching at straws, we blew through, undid all the drains and then blew through the pipe to make sure there was, you know, they were open and clear, and it seems to be alright. So it's a case of hit the button and go now.
They're getting away with their web, isn't it? You're never getting your way. On corner.
I was behind because I was right on the car ladder to stay.
You can't really tell, like I said. You're not revving it. Mike's obviously having to sit this race out. We've all got 4 out of 5, as you know, this weekend. This is Mike's turn to sit out. My turn Sunday, unfortunately. But he's done a 141 something when he won that first race today. New lap record. Great lap time for an FZ600 Cadwell. But trouble is this time he's going to be on that fence like that, with both sets of fingers like that. And he's going to have stopwatch whatever he says. And when I'm going round, just playing with him all in this game, doing my own thing like I do, he's going to be going 142 something. No, please, please, 3 laps to go. 141.9. Oh, please, 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 Paul, don't break me like record. Oh, I'll tell you something, he'll be more nervous than me, and I'm riding, he stood on fence. Hey? Oh, honestly.
Paul's bike went sick again in the second race, so we've changed the fuel tank, which includes changing back to a vacuum filler cap. We've put a full factory
inline
fuel filter on it. I put it the wrong way around just to bugger him up, and we've gone for the vacuum pipe, so there's a bit of pipage action gone on, and a fresh tank.
And a brand new battery.
And a brand new battery as well, yeah.
For in case one of the cells is down on the battery and it's causing an ignition cut-out failure. The only thing to do now, obviously we're being a factory team, we don't want to upset the sponsors. We put everything back together, the bike's good to go, But unfortunately, we need the tank spraying in the right colours before we go out.
Well, it is technically true Yamaha colours.
It is the true original colours.
The only get out line.
But it's going to cost me about £10,000 in sponsorship if I go out with a tank in these colours. But at the end of the day, we need to race. We really need to race. This is looking good.
The shark's fin's back because apparently a scrutineer can put the finger between the sprocket and there. You have to have very thin fingers and do it very steadily to get your finger in there, but apparently you can.
Mike, do you need another shark fin at all? Because I may have one.
No, I'm just going to move that back.
Oh,
What I'm going to do is see whether I can just drill another hole in the swinging arm, just to suit this. I'll move it back one hole and see how it looks.
Here, Jed, you want our full factory bred one? Alan is in first place. I believe I've got 29 under. 24. 24.
first lap, mate.
Yeah. Lock up on it then.
Did he lose power? Mate, did he lose power before he locked up? Must have lost power, wouldn't he?
No, he went. And
just where was that going into chicane?
Yeah, I was accelerating towards the chicane.
From Mansfield, yeah.
There's oil in the bottom of the motor, in the bottom of the crankcase, and just at the back of the motor there. Where is it? So the back of the crankcase there. There's a dent in the crankcase with oil coming out of it.
Okay. Are we taking it out then?
No.
Are we doing an engine swap?
No.
Do you want to go out on the...
This side conrod's broken and it's punched a hole in the back of the crankcases here. So it is no more. It's just up there somewhere. Where my finger is, that little bit that's sticking out there. Aye. No more speed, Captain. Tie wraps around the tyre. I got it on one side and then had to get easy off to get back on this and pop back off.
Into Icelandic way. Like
yeah. I fancy being a little bit.
And in first place, who else? Kevin Woolley.
Well, this is the last race of the weekend. Paul had to sit out this race because of the way the format of the racing was this weekend. Nancy, unfortunately, because of the rod going, wasn't able to do so. Paul's kindly let me use his bike to go out in the last race, and we'll give it some feedback on the bike, and it should be quite good fun. So we put my wheels in because my tyres were in better order, but the rest of the bike's kind of all Paul's. I've altered the handlebars to suit myself. We'll just see how it goes. Get a good start, hopefully. I don't know where I am on the grid. I think I'm probably right towards the back or midfield at best. So select a reasonable good setting on launch control and see where we end up. Well, the race went really well, to be fair. There wasn't a lot of pressure in the sense that it was just a bit of fun at the end of the day. Paul kind of lent me his bike, so we swapped my wheels and stuff onto it and got on with it really. But they give us, because I've not finished, whether it was because of Paul's not finishing, I don't know, or mine or whatever, but they give us 31st on the grid, which was the very back row. There's only one guy behind us. So it was always going to be a bit of an uphill battle. Anyway, got a reasonable start, bagged a load of them going into the first corner, and then just got my head down and just got on with it as best I could. And then about 3 laps into the race, Paul's clutch started to slip, so I was having to change gear, and as I changed gear, then shut the throttle and then open it again, and then it'd pull the gear. If you just like snap the throttle, it would just slip like hell. So I was losing a bit of time there, but I got up into second on the next, I think it's last lap. I think I got second, and then tried to close the gap right down. Another lap, it would have been very, very interesting. But it's easy enough to, no, not easy, but you can catch somebody, but you've then got to pass them. So it would have been a very entertaining last lap with one more lap. But we're now just putting Nancy's wheels back in her, so we've got her back on her wheels.